All right, after that tough loss to the Sirloins, here's a look at the division going into the Melonheads' next game. Now that they're 4-4, they've actually fallen to 3rd place in their division, and that is tough. You hate to see that, as they really needed that win against the Sirloins, and now they're 2 games back, and they have the Hooligans in front of them. They do have a matchup against the 3-5 Cobras team. Look at how creepy those players on their team's pictures are. Very concerning. Let's see where we're at league leaders wise. So home runs, Pablo Sanchez has put himself in the conversation now, as he has been on a roll. He is also on a roll as far as RBIs. Let's look at the next section. Stolen bases. We are still dominating the league in stolen bases. Let's go have a look at our pitching staff. Kenny Kawaguchi's strikeout to walk ratio is insane. His strikeouts per 9 does put him in the top. Unfortunately, his ERA is not there anymore. He is leading the league in strikeouts, although it is tough, as the pitching staff of this Melonheads team has struggled as of late. Ernie Steele is feeling better, but the game really doesn't know where we are in our rotation anymore, as Ernie didn't get a chance to pitch. So they're going to let Ernie Steele pitch, I think. Actually, we're just going to skip them all together. Angelo Del Vecchio is going to go, as we need a win. They need to bounce back after that tough loss to the Sirloins. Man, you hate to see it. Guys, if you are enjoying this series, please like, subscribe, comment how we can make it better. But the Melonheads have a good matchup here against the Cobras. They're going to continue to play the lineup that they played against the Sirloins. I do want to take out Annie Frazier, though, as that was an accident. Annie Frazier is not our starting catcher. That is Stephanie Morgan. Other than that, we are good to go. Stephanie Morgan back behind the dish. Other than that, they're using the same lineup they used against the Sirloins. And it scored some runs the first game. The second game, not so much, but I do think some of your changes have really worked out for the better. Jocinda Smith playing shortstop has made this offense produce a little more at the top. Between her and Dante Robinson, it seems somebody's always on for Pablo, and that's exactly what you want. Strike 3 swinging. Angelo Del Vecchio gets it. Bless you, Del Vecchio. Uh-oh. That ball's hit deep. Doesn't have enough. That is way out of here. Holy cow, that is off the batter's eye in deep center field. What's the StatCast on that one? 466, and Angelo Del Vecchio gives up a home run in the first here. The Melonheads definitely have struggled this year when playing from behind, and that is not how you want to start this game against a team with a losing record. This is a team you have to beat if you want to stay in this conversation for the division. Del Vecchio has been, you know what, we keep saying Del Vecchio's been one of the better pitchers. Strike 3 called, but Kenny Kawaguchi needs his props. He did pitch short rest and give up the 2 bombs, but he has struck out more batters than anyone else in the league, and that's got to count for something. Dante Robinson did struggle in game number 2 against the Sirloins, and you hope that doesn't mean he's going to be in a slump as he grips a single, though. He does squeak his single through, and he's going to continue to get on base, and that's going to give him a chance to steal. And when he has a chance to steal in front of Jocinda Smith, who Jocinda Smith has also hit well, and he advances on the overthrow. He's on third base with nobody out. Jocinda Smith has hit well. You're looking at an easy Melonheads tie ball game here, as long as someone can come through. Jocinda strikes out swinging. You hate to see that from Jocinda, who's hit so well, but Pablo Sanchez, who's really been the star of this team so far, exactly who you thought would be the star of this team, has played very well as of lately, and they have needed every ounce of it to even be 4-4. This pitcher is throwing a lot of junk that is not strikes, and I am swinging at it. It is an awful combination. Full count. Pablo Sanchez gets this one way up there. You got to imagine with Dante's speed they're sending him. They're sending Dante. There's going to be a play at the plate. It's going to be a tie ball game, Melonheads. The sacrifice fly out of Pablo Sanchez will tie the ball game. Keisha Phillips is going to rip one up the middle. Keisha Phillips going to continue this little inning here with the 2-out single. Here's Tony Del Vecchio. He still is locked in. Tony gets a hold of this. The center fielder's going back at the track at the wall. This ball is deep. Gone! The 2-run home run for Tony Del Vecchio, his third of the season. His third of the season gives the Melonheads a 3-1 lead. That's what you like to see in a game. You got to think they need to win. You cannot go back to a losing record. Not after the Sirloins went ahead and beat you. You only took one out of that series. You need to win against as many of these teams that are below 500 as you can. You need to try and win out as many as you can. And the Melonheads putting up 3 in the first is a good way to start. That's going to be a foul ball. As that ball's a little blooper. No one seems to be running for it. Del Vecchio does finally get on his horse and run over and get to it. Here's Mike. He's got a cool haircut. He looks like Guy Ferrari with that haircut. We're going to punch him out. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get Guy to swing and miss. Uh-oh, he takes us to Flavortown instead. Single up the middle. Now the Cobras are looking. They got the tying run at the plate. Could this end up being a slugfest? You'd hate to see it. And that's going to be back-to-back singles here for the Cobras. And they're going to have an opportunity here with 1 out in the second inning to fight back in this game. That's an anticipated fastball. Pablo's going back. I don't really know who's going to get this ball. That is out number 2 as that ball lazily flies out. At least somebody does eventually get to it. Let's see if Del Vecchio can get herself out of this jam with no runs scored. That ball is down the line. Foul ball. Very close. Inside fastball, no dice. Outside corner fastball. Ground ball to third. He's just going to run to third, tag it. Out number 3. Out of the jam is Del Vecchio. And the Melonheads still have the lead 3-1 going to the bottom of the second. Mikey Thomas is one of the worst players alive. I can't even handle having him on this team. But he does have a lot of power, so I always feel like it's hard to take him out of the lineup just in case he hits a bomb. But man, does he suck. That's a ground ball to the shortstop. Don't worry, Mikey Thomas could run backwards and probably be faster. Stephanie Morgan got both games against the Sirloins off. Here is her opportunity to show the rest was well needed. Stephanie Morgan, deep right field. Off the wall, Stephanie Morgan continues where she left off. After getting a couple days off to rest, she's going to get a 2-out or 1-out double for the Melonheads. Here's Angela Del Vecchio who can hit. Del Vecchio did hit a home run in her last outing. But this time she's going to find the alleyway and just fly out as she just gets under it too much. Dante Robinson now batting in the leadoff position after a poor performance out of Pete Wheeler. That ball was bobbled, and it's going to end up being an RBI single for Dante Robinson as the left fielder doesn't quite play it cleanly. And Stephanie Morgan with some heads-up base running. Are they they thought Dante was stealing. Inside. I can't imagine why. Dante is stealing this time. And Dante's in there. 2 out, stolen base, 3-0 to Jocinda. That is going to be a strike, but there's no way she's swinging here. That ball is going to be ground ball to short. Ow, what a play by the third or shortstop. I didn't actually pay attention to who made the play. Here's January Baloney at the plate. Unfortunately, it's September. And if you got January Baloney, you are in trouble. That stuff isn't real meat anyway, so actually you're probably all right. Little pop-up to Stephanie Morgan. Out number 1. Little pop-up in foul territory again. Mikey Thomas is slow, but he's going to glide over there and get out number 2. I don't know if I'd call it gliding. I'm sure he's out of breath. He is not in the best shape. Weak ground ball to Pablo. Out number 3. We're heading to the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third, 4-1 Melonheads. The Melonheads have had offense. They've had pitching. Oh, hard hit ball. Great stab by the third baseman, though. Here's Keisha Phillips. Somebody they'd really like to see more offense out of. She gets way under this ball, though. Keisha has struggled, but not horribly. Just hasn't produced as much as they'd like out of that 4 spot. Tony Del Vecchio, though, is going to hit a ground ball. It's going to be off the diving third baseman to the shortstop, who makes a great 5-6 put out at first base. 5-6-3. You don't see that one too often for the put out. That ball is high. Right field. Back at the track, the wall. Can't quite make the play as Keisha Phillips as it hits the very top of the wall. A leadoff triple for the Cobras. And they got a chance here to do some damage with nobody out. You got to think, if you are Del Vecchio on the hill, though, you just need to continue throwing your pitches, not worry about that base runner, and get your team out of here with a win tonight. Here we are in the top of the 4th. This is when things fall apart for the Melonheads. Tends to be late into games. That is going to be a ground ball to Jocinda. They're going to let the run score, but that's going to be out number 1. At the plate, Mike Fantia, something or other. Line drive to the alleyway. He is going to get a single. Holy cow. Some poor base running is going to leave the double play as an option for the Melonheads. You got to think, if you are the Cobras, you want to see that guy get there. That's exactly the ball we're talking about, the double play ball for the Melonheads out of inning number 4. The real issue here, though, is Amir Khan is still not available. Here's Ahmed Khan, his brother, so they're going to have to use a different pitcher to close out this game. Amir Khan swinging early. He is much too early. He is going to hit this off the end of the bat. There's nobody at first over there, but the pitcher does run over and cover. Ahmed Khan, I feel like, has struggled as the dish as well. Here's Mikey Thomas. Also really struggled. If I had anybody else that I thought could play this game, Mikey Thomas would be out. He does punch this ball into center field, though, for a single. That might be his first single of the year. He does present as an easy double play opportunity here, though, as he is very slow. Stephanie Morgan has hit well this year. Played some good catcher. Had some great hair coming through her batting helmet. That ball's going to shoot into the hole to the right side. Back-to-back singles now, in the Melonheads, again in the bottom of the 4th, are putting some pressure on this Cobras pitching staff. They're going to go ahead and pinch hit here. And they're going to bring in Reese Worthington. Worthington, ground ball. Could that be a double play ball? Worthington may be missing out on his opportunities. Now the question is, who is going to be the closing pitcher while Amir Khan is still strained? They do say Sydney Weber is locked in, so they're going to give her the ball. She has pitched many times lately. She pitched very well against the Sirloin. She's going to go for her first save here against the Cobras. Out number 1 on 1 pitch. We would love to see the Melonheads win this ball game. Ball to Mikey Thomas. He's going to beat him to the bag. Out number 2. 2 outs. Sydney Weber has been locked in as a pitcher. You got to think, best arm in the bullpen as of right now. And you're glad that she's available when Amir Khan is hurt. Tony Del Vecchio is going to camp under it. Out number 3. The Melonheads win a big game for them. They really needed that to bounce back. They again have a winning record. The Cobras didn't put up a whole lot of pressure. The Melonheads offense, on the other hand, did have a good performance. Good performance all around out of the Melonheads. I believe that was one of their best team games Tony Del Vecchio, the #1 star. Tante Robinson continues to be a star. Melonheads, game number 8, game number 9 for them, and they are now 5-4. I will see you next time for the 10th game halfway mark of the season.